Before we begin, everyone say hi, mister. Okay, now's the time, better than ever. I'm just concerned if somebody's gonna pop in here, but whatever. Let's just start recording. So where do I want to start? Okay, let's start with my inspiration for this format video is Alexa Dunn. I was watching her and I was like, yeah, it's really hard to keep up with social media. I do long form ones because I just dump everything in one time. I don't have to think about what to record throughout the week or the 2 weeks, because I record every other 2 weeks. So then I thought, like, you know what, why not try to do both. Again, use one video to do multiple things, and where I'm just gonna dump everything in one video, but also cut it up into shorts and split it up into multiple like videos for social media, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok. So there you go. That's where the inspiration come up. So first, let's get all the general stuff out of the way. There's not much going on in my life, so there's not much to share for that. So I guess we'll just skip ahead to Japanese. So for Japanese, my studying is going somewhat, but so the thing about Japanese, it's hard to maintain, especially when not surrounded by a lot of Japanese. So what am I doing? I am going over the book that I finished read, Kotoba, by highlighting the Kotoba. And then memorizing how it's used in the sentence and in the book. In terms of kanji, instead of studying once a week, now I'm studying twice a week because then again, I'm not surrounded by it. Twice a week. Bunpo. I'm reviewing Bunpo every time before I even write anything, so there you go. That is Japanese. Now, on to illustration. So, for illustration, what am I doing? Okay, so this is where I am. I don't know if you can see it, but there you go. That's how far I got for an illustration. As for my other illustration, I am collecting. I finished it. The postcard. Oh, so I found, since I postcard, I finished it. I gotta go back. I can't. Yeah. So I'm editing. I showed my sister, and she told me what to fix. So I am fixing that. I'm working on that, fixing that. That is for. That's it. Is that it? Oh, and for the book, well, yeah, for my other illustration, I'm collecting references and trying to put together. Inspired by Emily Artful. There you go. Inspired by Emily Artful. I've been, instead of drawing on paper, I decided to switch to digital to draw. You get the sketch down and then transfer it to do it traditionally. I mean, I was going to do that with regardless. I mean, want to draw traditionally, scan it, and enlarge it, and then print it anyway. So, you know, skipping drawing it on paper and just going straight to digital. At this point, so I was like to paint it traditionally. There you go. And I think that's it for illustration. Okay, this is really quick. We're going through it. Okay, before I go to books and stories, I want to skip. I skip a part where, in general, I want to mention that I was doing this thing. Oh, I finished. Put my website together. it's like so many sounds all of a sudden now that I want to record going on in my house. Like everyone is up and like active now. Before it was like quiet besides just the TV. You hear it too, right, mister? Anyway, as I was saying, I finished my website, got that together finally, and now I want to get together my Kickstarter, and it won't be published yet. Public, it will be out, but it won't, like, I won't be able to collect donations yet, but I really want to get that done too. But now that I have my website done, I can now start focus on my postcard and send that out and get my mailing list together. So, that's it. Now back to book and story. Okay, so book and story. Where am I? Okay, so for my Kigaru Hime book, I finally got one of the characters, thanks to some inspiration, I finally got one character's voice down in my head. But I'm still stuck on the other one. So I started reading mentor books. Yeah, we went back to that. I forgot the book I'm reading, but here it is. That's why I'm reading, to get me some inspiration. But also, another thing that gave me inspiration was my cousin, what my cousin said. And I was thinking about what makes my character, this other character, I'm sorry, not the first one, but the second character. And I was like, well, what made him speak the way he is was his father. So what if it was indirectly his mother that inspired him? So going off of that, riffing off of that, I'm now creating steps to figure out how he indirectly get his mother's voice without actually getting his mother's voice, and then without sounding like his mother, if that makes any sense. Anyway, so I'm like my first character that definitely sounds like his father, more directly like his father. So there we go. That's the Kikaru Hirime. For the illustration, I already mentioned I'm working on that. Thanks to M. Yarful. Moving on to the inspiration, helpful notes, or whatever you want to call it, tip. There you go. It's called a tip. And then Zombie Dobutsu. I'm going through. The rest of the stories, I'm working through it slowly. I'm mostly concentrating on the illustration, Kigaru Hime's illustration, because that's the one I want to push by this end of this year. I'm pushing it again. I don't think I'll be able to be done by June, half the year. I am not confident. This is why I also don't want to work traditionally publishing, because I suck at keeping to the deadline. Oh my gosh. I mean, there are others that suck at keeping to the deadline, but I think I'm really terrible at it. Because I know there's other writers who's like, who has theirs expanded, who have their deadline elongated, but I'm like, I'm not sure how I will roll it. Every time I have wrote a book, I have to keep having it expanded every single time. So right now I'm just like, okay, let's try to get to that deadline, but I might have to extend it. Most likely. It's March and I haven't even drawn a page yet, including the symbols. But I got it down, so there's that. Then the last one is Zombie Dobutsu 1. I am shoveling through. I decided to take a step back and work on the characters more, focus on the characters. I'm creating the characters' background, not only just like the main one, but also the background characters, which would including the sacrificial ones. I might have to go back over again but not this time. I'm just gonna move forward. I'm going forward from now on. So yeah, there's that. I'm still stuck at the mall because I added 2 characters, so I'm rewriting those in. So I'm still stuck at the mall. So which is the beginning. Okay, so moving on. There's going to be a lot of pauses because I'm just listening into what's going on around me. Moving forward to movie next one, which is Uchu to Yosei, which is another Japanese manga I'm working on, and that one is also mostly digital. I finished all the background, so I'm like, okay, now what else do I need to work on? At least, I finished the buildings for both the city, how the city area look like, and how the town area will look like, the buildings for the town area. So now, like, well, nothing looks to work on except the characters. And then by characters, I mean the character's personality, because I realized, you know what, I also need to shovel that down too. Get those down too. So, joy. Last one. Neko no Shoten. That one, I took a step back not to, because I'm having trouble writing the ending, so I decided to take their Herman Circle thing to get the ending down, because I also don't want to drag it out and write more than I should. So I'm like, all right, using the Herman Circle, I'm going to use that to write the ending. I wrote out I planned out the ending, and now I'm going to write it. So I'm at the end, so that's good. Moving on to the last story, which is technically not a story. It's supposed to be technically is used to practice Japanese, but it's still technically a story, so I'm counting it here, right? Mentioning it here. The Rushi, I think this will be her nickname. Rushi to Miniko. So their story. I forgot. I was so lousy last week, due to monthly visits of Mother Nature. So I didn't do much in terms of, like, I skipped a day, so I'm behind a page. I'm gonna write a page today, so you know, it is what it is, but it is helpful. This is one of the few stories where I had to plan each down to the very last page, because like and since I'm writing in Japanese, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm gonna plan this out to the detail. So yeah, thanks to that, it made it easier for me to write without just to think of like how to write the page in Japanese, and rather than how the story should flow. So it takes away one of the things I had to think about hard on, because I really had to think hard on Japanese now. I don't want to think about how the story should flow either too. So that's the good part of going being a heavy planner than pantsing in this case. And it would have been probably easier to that too when I am thinking about my other two stories were in Russian and Japanese. But then again, I finally went back. I didn't know what I was writing anyway, first of all, in terms of story. But now that I have a better idea when I'm writing a story, I did plan out Uchi Toyose. I have to have a plan for Zombie Dobutsu. It's still vague. It's mostly, since it's character driven-ish. It's not much planning, but I did plan it out with the help of the book, The Anatomy of a Genre book. So somewhat planned out now. So it should have an easier time, especially now that once I get the characters down, I will probably have an easier time figuring out, not only figure out, but fleshing out the story, and fleshing out my characters. So there's that, and I think that is it for this segment and for this video. So thank you for watching. Okay, bye. But before you go, say goodbye, mister.